Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica if you're new here. If you like home decor and DIYs on a budget, make sure to stick around by hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. Today I'm participating in a challenge. This is the subscriber DIY challenge. This is being hosted by Melissa from All Things Crafty. And her co-host this month is Nicole from The Week's Nest. I love both of these ladies. I will leave their links down below in the description box. Please go over to their channels, watch their videos, and hit that subscribe button to show them some love. Also, there is a link for the playlist down below in the description box as well for this challenge. So make sure you go over there to get some inspiration and find out what everybody else's subscribers wanted them to DIY. So for this challenge, I asked you guys in my community tab a few weeks ago what you guys would like to see me DIY, and a lot of you said coastal decor. So I'm gonna go with that theme since a few of you said that, and that's what we're gonna do today. So everything is gonna be Dollar Tree DIY coastal decor. So let's get started. For this first DIY, I'm going to be making a seashell wreath. I'm going to use one of these wreath forms and some of these colorful seashells from Dollar Tree. Now this idea came from a subscriber that asked for a bohemian wreath with some seashells, driftwood, dried flowers, and that kind of stuff. So I tried to get everything I could at Dollar Tree for this wreath and make it as boho as I could. I thought that these seashells that were more colorful, they kind of gave that boho vibe. So I first just started off with one of the seashells, any one of them, and I just hot glued it to the wreath form. Then I continued to work my way around the wreath form, just layering the seashells and kind of fitting them into place, kind of like puzzle pieces as I went around the wreath form. It's pretty simple, just you see a gap and you just take a seashell and you try to fill that gap with a seashell. Now there still will be little gaps. You could paint this wreath form so that way the green definitely doesn't show through, but I wasn't too worried about it because I had other things to fill up the wreath. And then I went in and used the seashells as much as I could to fill in all of the green space. So for the dried flowers, I found these sprigs at Dollar Tree. I got 3 bunches of them, and I'm not sure what these are actually called, but they kind of look like sea oats to me. So I ended up cutting these stems off and just using the little heads of the dried pieces, and then I just placed them around the wreath in the gaps where the green is showing through, and I used hot glue to secure most of them down. Some of them just kind of stuck right in there, so I didn't really have to use the hot glue, but some of them I did. Some of them, like the longer lighter colored ones, I did cut those in half so I would have more to use. And again, I just filled up the wreath with those as much as possible. I also wanted to use the dried pieces of grass that came with these bunches. So I decided to just take some of those blades of grass and I just cut them down to smaller little pieces, and then I just stuck them kind of across the seashells from one side to the next to kind of give this wreath a little bit more dimension. I really wanted to add some driftwood to this wreath, but I didn't have any, and Dollar Tree really doesn't sell any. So I did look up some tutorials on how to make your own driftwood at home, but unfortunately it took like a week and I didn't have that much time before I had to get this video out. So I didn't add the driftwood, but I still think this turned out to be a cute coastal boho wreath. So unfortunately, to start off with this DIY, I forgot to hit the record button on the first part of this DIY, but it's self-explanatory and I will show you on the other candles that I'm doing here. This subscriber actually requested some coastal centerpiece idea, but she had specifically 3 battery operated candles from Dollar Tree and some various other items to include in her centerpiece. So I took the idea with the 3 battery operated candles since she already had those. Fortunately, I could not find any battery operated candles at my Dollar Tree. So these candles that I'm using here are regular candles from Dollar Tree, but it worked out for this DIY, and I think that the battery operated candles with this DIY would work perfectly. So you can see here I have a bag of the white seashells from Dollar Tree, and what I'm doing is I'm just starting off by taking a seashell and I'm hot gluing it to the wax candle. And at first I was like, is this really gonna work? But it actually does. It just melts the wax a little bit, but really the trick is to take that first seashell, put a little hot glue around the edges of it, stick it down, and wait for like a minute. And let it just sit there, like kind of press on it, just let it sit there, and it sticks. And then I just continued all the way around the candle, overlapping the other seashells to the first one and just hot gluing them down to the candle. I did all three of these candles a little bit differently because I just wanted to use one bag of seashells for this DIY, and there's different sizes of seashells in the bag, and I wanted to use them all to my advantage. I think this coastal DIY turned out beautifully, and I think it will work perfectly in a centerpiece or even on a 3-tiered tray display. For this last DIY, this sweet subscriber said that she loves my coastal decor and it inspires her to get hers done. So I wanted to make this DIY that I've been thinking about for a while that is coastal inspired, and I think it would be perfect to put in any coastal decor, and it's super easy and very inexpensive to make. So what I'm gonna do here is make a seashell garland. So I just took a bag of the white seashells, and I laid them all out, as you can see here, so that way I could see how easily they fit together. Because what I did was I took my twine and I just laid a seashell upside down, or I laid the twine on top of the upside down seashell and hot glued that twine to the seashell. And then I took another seashell and hot glued that seashell on top of the other seashell to make a full seashell. So I just did that all the way down the twine until I ran out of seashells, and actually it was a perfect amount. I didn't have any seashells left. Everything fit perfectly together. And by the way, guys, I love hearing from you, so please don't hesitate. If you have a DIY idea, leave it down in the comments below. Connect with me on Instagram or Facebook if you have those platforms, because I would love to hear from you and I would love to try to work those into a video. So, you know, don't hesitate, don't be shy, please do that. Like I said, I love to hear from you guys. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some tassels to the end of this garland. So what I did to make my tassels is I just took one of the smaller canvases from Dollar Tree, and I took the twine and wrapped it around the canvas the long ways, so that way I would have a bigger tassel. I wrapped it around about 30 times and then I cut it off, and then I made sure that the twine was still folded so that way I can make a loop at the top of the twine. And then I just used some more twine to tie off that loop there. And I wrapped that twine around so that way it would give it more of a finished look. Used a little hot glue to secure the end of that twine down. And then I took the twine that was sticking out from the garland and I pushed that through that little loop there. If you use like a pair of scissors or a pencil or something, just be really careful. You can poke through that hole and get all of the twine. I just was making it a little bit more difficult here, just trying to get it through on my own, but it still worked out. Then I just cut the bottom of the twine so that way the pieces at the end would be all even, and then I made another tassel for the other side. I love how this turned out. It's a really pretty piece of decor to add to a tray or around a glass vase, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and for you guys to see my videos more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.